So, so anger, chaos, all these things that we run from, and then we look for the pursuit of peace. You know, every human being, but so much more importantly today, like every man looking to better himself, and that's a lot of the people that we talk to. But everybody alive, we're in the pursuit of peace. How can we be in a good mind, body, soul, all that sort of stuff, and feel good about ourselves? And see, it was interesting because we were recording this bit, right? And it had to do with the search for individuality. You know, what does it mean to be special? And we were getting all this stuff. And we just had a baby. It's December 26th, the day after Christmas. And we had our son, who's 4 days old now. 4 days, not even 4 days old, because it's 10:38 and he was born at 10:50. So he's 3 days and 23 hours and 50 some odd minutes old. And our other son, who's 16 months, is crying. And it's throwing off the whole thing. And man, yeah, I had to stop. I went outside and was like, what's going on? We know that this stuff is happening or whatever, yada, yada, yada. And it throws you off. It made me mad. It was like, what the fuck, man? And it throws me off in a way where it would throw anybody off. And we all know what that's like. And see, this is like the perfect example of our world. That action is a normal action. It's actually a great action. It's not a problem. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be fine. And it made me think back of what I've been doing with my meditation. Okay. Our world and how we were made to live. And of course, I don't want to promote that I have the answer, because the answer that you need to find is your road. You need to do that. But our world has so much going on that to be sane in it, and to be peaceful and to have a well body and mind is almost an impossible thing, that we almost have to be neurotic to go for that. And every time I go to nature, and at this point, my meditation routine is about 2 hours long, and that includes kind of everything. And I know not everybody has that sort of time, but it doesn't have a time limit on it. I just do it, and I go through a couple of things that I find to better myself, and I get in touch with the world, and I get in touch with nature and all the different things. I get in touch with myself, and I come out of that, and I'm a completely different person. It's amazing, and I see the true me for me and all that sort of stuff. And I'm walking back, because I go out in the forest and I walk back. And as I'm walking back, I'm like, wow, man, I can't believe that these things made me mad. I can't believe that these things didn't make sense. In fact, I can believe it, because there's so much going on, and that I'm attempting to manage all of it and keep it all into its own confinement and its own box, that somehow I'm going to make it work. And this is what we call mental health. This is what we call, physical health. This is what we call our expression of ourselves, to be in a world where there's so many different things happening, and we can hold on to all the things that we want and all the things that are going to make us good if we add this to it. If we eat in this way, if we're vegan, if we're paleo, if we talk to these people and we force ourselves to do it. And we're really going for all these extremes. And it's so sad. We've taken this beautiful, like the greatest power in yourself, and turned it into this bizarre distortion of what it is. And let me actually jump back to the birth. I've watched Maria give birth twice to both of our sons. And this time it was actually a little bit more, it didn't take as long. It was 7 hours of the total labor, and man, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours of like some really, really tough stuff. In fact, she even says only 5 hard pushes until he was born. And the thing is that is such a rite of passage for her femininity, to see that you get what woman is in that moment. And woman is so many other things. The beauty in the nature of her was expressed in there and undeniable. Now, I don't mean to take that away from any other births or anything else, like if there were C-sections or you did it in a hospital and so on. It's not about that, but that is so undeniably feminine. But what is it that we do to become feminine today? Around all the chaos, around all the stimuli, around all the bad experiences, around all the bad relationships. And you take this core moment that is so common that every woman, or almost every woman, can experience and has the ability to experience, not to say that's your reason for having children. And rather than going to that, which is so real and so common and so pure, we make it about a political cause. We make it about a rally or a petition to sign. And look at this towards masculinity. The time where, like I really proved myself or did something. The one thing that comes to my mind was when I was 16, I went cliff diving with a bunch of buddies, and one of them started drowning, and I went in and got him out. And then when that happened, the other guy hit a rock and went into the water, and he started drowning. I went in and got him out. And actually it was screwed up because we were in a cove and they were both on separate sides, and they're all cut up. That doesn't make me anything. I just acted in what a friend would do who had the ability to swim. Yet we're all searching for that moment. How can we be good? How can we be seen? How can we get it amongst the midst and chaos of so much going on around us? And that's what we call being a man. Let me tell you something, like being happy and being a peaceful human being and having the peace of mind, having the thing that we're all searching for. Man, it is not in the extreme. It is not in the novelty. It is not in the big deal, but it's in what you can do now with what you have. Look, I'll tell you this, man. When I go through life and I try and push myself to the things that I need to do, usually what's pushing that is an insecurity. Usually what's pushing that is a search for identity. But when I am graced enough to calm down, take my mind out of it, take my ego out of it. And hopefully my ego doesn't get taken out by getting fucking hit in the face by reality so hard that I have to snap out of it. Because that has happened over and over again in my life. But hopefully I've been graced to be able to see that. Maybe through meditation, maybe through exercise, maybe through the Wuchi Fa standing practice that I do, maybe through jujitsu or whatever. But I can get into that state of flow and peace and the true nature of me. What happens? I go, oh man, this just is. And I'm in better touch with my body. I'm in better touch with who I am. And, that's where the peace is. The pursuit of your power, the pursuit of your peace is a journey that you have within you that will always fall into the ordinary and turn that into extraordinary rather than this big deal of what we think we have to be in order to be something. And man, that is the biggest myth and the biggest lie that any human being can follow that will never make them happy.